right, so here in what, December 1st, we see the Brits still not really stable. Had to give up some space here. I don't want to give this piece up. There's going to be a point where this piece becomes too important, but that means a weak spot defending here, but it's doubled. And it's going to be kind of hard to get to because it's, you know, on the back, it's in the concave portion of line. Positioning stuff here. These could help with a counterattack if an attack's made on that big unit. Here I got another weak spot, and this is could be a kind of bad one, except, again, the Germans are kind of weak there. They could pull out, but I'm hoping to kill this piece and really weaken their position over in the south here. That's going to be my one attack for 8, 12, 17. I could throw in up to 19 to 8. It doesn't make much difference. So I'm going to go with the 17. I think this could be a mobile attack. At 2 to 1, that's probably wise. 2 to 1's not very good. Jesus. Should I be doing the exchange? I don't know. I need to get that unit out of there. That's the problem. Yeah, I don't know. 2 to 1 sucks. Oh, he's not doubled. He's not 8. So it's 16, 19 to 4. So, yeah, that's 4 to 1. So 4 to 1 in the normal is pretty good. 4 to 1 over here, again, I don't really like that. Over here, I prevent the exchanges, so I'll do the mobile attack there. I've got more tanks. We get a 3, which would have been a destruction there, but instead it's just a defender retreat. But that allows us to take a better defensive position up there for whatever that's worth. I check for the tanks, and then I do the German side. I haven't really needed it, but I've been forgetting completely about the French. Shit. Oh, boy. The German counterattack started somewhere down here. On a 1 would mean the French came in. So let's start around there. Turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, turn 11. Okay, so the French should come in. I'm going to throw them down for next turn for what they're worth. And they can actually exit from the map too and do raids. So if I can hold this line, they can slip out through this hex, which is more bonus points. We'll talk about them when they come. I'm trying to find, the reason I thought about them was, you know, it's very easy to forget about something. If they had a box on the map or something, I probably would have remembered them a little more. But I've been looking at the supply rules, and I can't find anything that destroys something out of supply. When I look at the penalty, I thought there was, but I'm thinking it's the Cav re-entry that destroys things. But the only thing that I can find here is that if you're forced to counterattack, you counterattack at half strength when you're out of supply. Well, we could force that from this guy, but he's got an 8 defense, which that's going to be tough to beat up. So he actually might not be in that much danger, even if the Germans can punch that unit aside. I'm not, you know, I was looking at that and thinking, well, I can get a 3 to 1 on this, probably push it out of the way, and then what? Then I don't have very good odds on it, and I don't have extra German units anywhere. Well, I'm going to try my best here. Let's do this. That's 10 to 3. That's a 3 to 1 normal attack. Bad things could happen here. We get an exchange. I'll kill these 2. He doesn't want to advance. That opens up him to go run into Cambrai and do who knows what. But he was just stuck in a really annoying position, and I got to try to catch him free, but now the German line's too short. Over here, I have 10 to 3. That's a 3 to 1. Again, normal attack. We're thinking we can break through in the center and cause the Brits a lot of grief that way. But we need some good rolls, and that's the start of some good rolls. Get some trench position there. And then over here we've got 12 to 4 is 3 to 1. This could be mobile, but I kind of want to do mobile because I don't want to lose my my Strauss troop in here. So yeah, we can't afford to lose those good units. They're too expensive, and we do anyway. We get ourselves an exchange that destroys. At least we killed some tanks with it. We push forward. So it probably works out about even. And now we got the Frenchies coming in. And this does not look good for the Germans, though. I'm not regaining a lot of this territory that we lost. And over here, I'm just at the trench line. I haven't pushed over it yet. And the Brits trying to establish some shoreline. They've got too many holes now over in this area. We got a bunch of heavy British units came in from here. The French came in. French cav running up to score some more points. But that line's looking thin, and it's got a lot of defects. And here's the problem. I'm trying to hold areas in German territory that I haven't converted the trenches for. I never had the extra troops to, like, you know, convert stuff in the back areas. So now I've got enough forces, but they're really just there to throw in and try to stem the gap. I've got like a cav holding a gap here. That's really trying to delay things. I can presumably fall back on this ridge. There's a town here that I could perhaps make my holding position. This guy is a problem though, so we don't know where the Germans are going to hit. This guy's free to run around and do nasty stuff though. So I don't know. If I look at the victory conditions, that has to be supplied, but this passing through hexes doesn't have to be supplied. So the Brits could actually run up and do some damage in Cambrai, so I really can't pursue them too much. There's a fair amount of victory points available just because this unit is so hard to dig out. Now, if I leave somebody, you know, kicking around, threatening him a couple of units or whatever, that's great, but I don't have a couple of units to spare. Let's think about what the German situation is. First of all, these French, they aren't going to be able to get off the board and stay off long enough, given how late they came in, to score any points. They're not a worry. So punching through here isn't that big a deal. I've got like one extra unit in the back here. I could probably knock this cav out of the way and create a defect there. What's a value there? This is kind of a value. This, if I can get that over there, is a value. Trying to hit here doesn't look like there's much of value. I don't really have the strength to punch through up here. So down here, I think I'm going to focus on these units. What I can do about him, I don't know. I can't let him go rampaging, though. And I got to leave at least one unit around to kind of threaten him. If I can get somebody in here, that kind of prevents him from doing too much damage. At sort of a minimal cost. I'd like to bust this guy out of the way. There's valuable territory back here as well. I'd like to collapse the whole north if I can. So with a 3 to 1 here, normal attack, try to bust through. Yes, there's a defect here, but there's nothing that can really take advantage of just this crappy cav. We get a counterattack. He could make a 1-to-1. 1-to-1 probe is not terrible. Do I care about this hex? I really don't. I'm going to keep falling back. And then we don't want to move that way, so we'll go forward there. Over here, we got 8 to 2. That's a 4 to 1 attack. Obviously, we want to do normal. Probe is dangerous when you have large numbers. We get a yucky exchange. Not what we wanted. We can't really afford to advance because that would break our lineup. We're a little scared. Would it? I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he could get extra guys on us, but this is entrenched. No, it was here. Bring them on. we need to try to get gains here. We can't let them slip in and defend that location. And that's it for our attacks. That pushes us into the 3rd of December. Right. Brits kind of unable to do what they want. Not really able to launch any attacks. I've got the French beginning to take up the lines here. I'm gathering a strike force here to push forward, but I don't know how much it can really do. I'm trying to throw enough weight in that it's going to make it hard for the Germans to take anything over here. Over here, I feel like, given the weakness of the German forces, they're not going to make any advances. The Germans are pretty weak across the line now. There's a lot more strength on the Allied side. So we might get to push back and get some ground there. But at the very least, we don't want to lose any ground anymore now. If we have the numbers, we should be able to hold what we've got. Those situations where maybe the best thing the Germans could do is try to hold their line as well. I feel like I'm behind. I'm not going to count victory points. I'll take a quick glance, you know, hey, what do these stacks look like? Well, it looks to me like there's a lot more pieces in the German pile. So I'm going to try to brush this aside to try to gain some ground over here. It's the only way I have to gain anything, but maybe taking risks isn't a good idea at this point, right? But anyway, I have 10. That's only 2 to 1, shit. Yep. Oh well, I made my decision. I wouldn't weaken my line like this otherwise. Yeah, Cav has doubled. Everything's doubled in the woods, right? Yeah. All right. 2 to 1. We'll do a probe. It's an exchange, not a good result, because Cav is cheaper, I think, than infantry. Plus the Germans, wow, they're really spread out. Spread way too thin. Not good. Not good at all. And that pushes us forward. Although the Brits have a numerical advantage and maybe a chance to kick through and get this, I don't want to risk anything at this point. This location, defending it, required a push in the northern direction. And I've pretty much spread my line to exactly what I want. I have a bunch of cav I could send flying out, but they can't really do much, so I'm throwing them behind the lines. If maybe the Germans screw something up, we may be able to move forward, but I don't see the Germans being able to launch a successful attack at this point. Their forces are just getting a little too weak. We'll see. The Germans are actually falling back a little bit, trying not to expose our line too much. It's really actually pretty tough at this point. I've got a lot of strength here where maybe the most British forces could come into play. This is the most valuable place that's exposed. And kind of the problem is, I guess it might be better off being here. I could have gotten there. You know, I've got weaknesses in the line here, but there's not too much I lose if I give that weakness up. And in fact, I can stay here. Yes, I'm giving up, you know, the forest position that's dangerous, but I think this is about as strong a line as the Germans can form. The Brits have some opportunity to smack either here or here. We have this cav to protect us if things go wrong, basically. And some British counterattacks here. Or resuming the offensive. 13 to 4, that's going to give me a 3 to 1. That's a normal attack we're doing. Nothing too bad can happen. We get an exchange. That's 4. I can kill this with 4. Hey, great. We killed something good. Here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 to 8. That's just a 2 to 1. I guess we have to probe because we can't do we want the probe? Yeah, we're willing to take the exchanges. That's a 4. And that is indeed an exchange. So we're losing a 4 there. We'll take this unit. we can advance. I don't know how valuable an advance is right here, but it does help cover this. Yeah, let's throw some crappy cav in the way. I can afford to lose it if need be. That puts it to the German side, and now the flank's exposed, the city's exposed, all kinds of badness is happening. And if we pull back, this ridge starts becoming a weak spot. On the bright side, there ain't much over here. I don't know what that is, if that counts as ridge. It's kind of hard to... The graphics are not the clearest in some cases. I think that's just normal terrain. The ridges seem to be like this. This seems to be kind of what I'm seeing there that's watching us. Okay, well, with the gap open, French cav runs up, grabs 2 hexes from Cambrai. Brits taking some positions in the trench. This is a pretty major British victory. We are launching an attack here. We grabbed an extra ridge hex here. So we got a lot out of the end of the game, being able to pummel that German line as it got weakened. Let's see what we got for attacks here. 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's going to give me a 2-to-1 there. I can do mobile, which is what I absolutely want to do. The only problem with this is what advances. We're probably going to advance with these guys because we got to kind of keep that line together. Assuming, of course, we win. 2-to-1 isn't that great at odds. And we get a 6, so we have to run, which is absolutely not what we wanted to have happen. This guy kind of has to go there. This guy's a problem, because that's opening up this. We'll leave at least the town ridge won't fall. And no other attacks anywhere else. We've got to roll for some tanks. They don't mean much right now. If they break down, they can't be killed, right? Their position on this turn is such that they have kind of a free move and attack. The only problem is I can't get back to Cambrai. I'm cut off by the zones, right? Unless unsupplied units don't generate zones, in which case maybe I can, because I can slip back this way, for whatever that's worth. Cav don't exert zones either, so I was able to strip across the river. That gets me a 2-to-1 attack on the Cav. It's just a regular attack. Shit. I'm not really thrilled with anything that can happen here. I guess a retreat would be good, so I'll go with a probe, maybe, because a counterattack. I got more counterattacks on this. I got a defender eliminate attack or eliminated exchanges. Yeah, I'll go to the normal 2-to-1. I think I got more chance of something good happening. I get a 6, that's not something good. However, I did take this hex away, at least, which is cool. Then we got an attack here. And you notice the German line just disintegrated in order to make this attack. You know, edge of game rolls cause problems. And in this case, it's the time limit. Sometimes it's the map, whatever. 10, 14 to 6. That's another 2-to-1 only. There's a ridge line in play here. I want to get them off that ridge line as best I can. I think counterattack sounds pretty good. Exchange doesn't sound bad. So we're looking at 5 counterattack exchanges and a no effect versus 4 counterattack exchanges, a defender eliminated, and a bad result. Let's go for the high odds 2-to-1 normal attack. And we screw up. Oh boy, do we screw up. Yeah, we would not have done that. Oops. All right, let's consider what would have happened there on the normal 2-to-1. That would be a no effect. So we'll consider it with and without those points. Now it comes time to just score the points. Strategic victory, I think that's pretty obvious that didn't happen. I think. Let's take a look. 2 hexes of Cambrai in supply occupied. No, I'm in 1 in supply. Okay, and that's pretty close. The Germans need 3 town hexes west of the original British front line. We never got them push that got us that far. So we're just going to counter our points up. I'll come back with that. So the Brits ended up with 235, 25 points in 2-point units, 140 in the regular German divisions destroyed, 25 points in cav raids, 15 points for units along the north edge. Terrain gave me a total of only 30 points. I was working so hard for the terrain. Now, the terrain can give you the strategic advantage. I may have forgotten that. So, call it another 5 points, 240. For the Germans, 140 killing infantry, 24 for killing cav, 8 for tanks. We didn't make it past the British line anywhere. We threw the Allies back here, but this is kind of valueless terrain-wise, which is why we got away with it. Point-wise, 50% of this would be, 85 points or so. That's not going to get us over the 150. So the tanks are not much more impressive than their historical. I didn't roll for these guys, did I? I don't know. Who cares? They really kind of didn't matter unless they got killed. Yeah, I did roll for them. We're not that far off the historical, but I felt like, except for there was a certain point when the German counterattack is at its peak, when it feels like you're getting your comeuppance. But other than that, I felt like the Germans really were not gaining any ground and were not strong enough to do much. And I have a suspicion that my die rolls at the beginning for the Brits were quite good, and that they got kind of some good distance on there. Other than that, well, obviously, maybe I'm not very competent with the German counterattacks. I probably went for too high an odds ratio in some cases on the surprise attack table, instead of trying to beat the Brits back as much as I think they should have been. I think probably a combination of initial luck and a little bit too conservative with the Germans early on, in their early counterattack phase. Weakened them a great deal, but you can see, the strategic victory, it came close. It came close. If I had been able to slip another cav in there, I don't think it was able to actually reach. So then it would have been an uglier situation. And also the points were kind of close. I think we're doing better than the historical Allies did here. Obviously, we made it into Cambrai at the end of the battle. The battle line is basically going to be back here instead. Of course, all these German units disintegrating, that was an attack I probably would not have made as I did. I noticed right away, I forgot how many German units are involved in this, and attack or eliminate is real bad here. And given that I was kind of tossing between do the probe and do the regular, I think I would have done the probe if I had really considered it well. But on the other hand, sometimes idiotic attacks happened, especially in World War I, or things that seemed it. I don't know. But the value of this was not that much. Killing this unit on an exchange would probably it would have ended up an equal loss for the unit, so it's 2 points for the ridge line. All right, come back with a review of this sucker, and we'll load this one up now.